Hello, everyone.
Yes. Hi,
Yes, we
everyone.
are.
Welcome to here. Session 2. Welcome to session 2 of Guardian of CHSB.
Indeed, we have a nice planning that's quite similar to last time, but nonetheless very interesting. Yeah, without further ado, let's dive into the presentation.
So, let's start with some statistics. So, for this vote, we have 6,444 answers. We have some people who try to maybe vote more than once. So, we have outvoted them. So, we have 6,075 unique users. And the snapshot was taken on the 30th of June at 11:38 a.m. CEST.
This time we got it right.
That's super important because otherwise we'll get tap on our fingers. So compared to last time, we have less people who made it wrong. So we have like 33 standard users who tried their luck and tried to vote, but unfortunately, the Guardian of CHSB vote is only open to premiums. So maybe next time they will upgrade to premium and then their votes will be accounted. Before also, we have 7 people who unfortunately got less than 200 CHSB, which was a requirement to be able also to vote, and 178 people who unfortunately weren't found, which means it's not a typo this time, because if you didn't put the right format for a mail address, you won't be able to continue on the form, but it's most probably because they put an email that wasn't linked to the SwissBorg app ID. So, yeah, compared to last session, which we have more than 11,000 votes, we got quite the drop down number of people. Maybe it's our fault because we miscommunicated, or maybe less in person were interested because of the contribution. I don't know. Maybe we'll see on the next session. But
Yeah,
we'll
I think
see.
it's interesting to see. I'm very happy about the drop down in the number of users that we didn't find, and the fact that people kind of understood the assignment. There is something that we could do as a disclaimer, is that we took out everyone that didn't have 200 CHSB last time, but this time we hesitated to uplift that threshold a little bit and say everyone who doesn't have 250 CHSB, for example, wouldn't be eligible. So this would rule out 7 users, which doesn't seem like much, but it could actually be interesting if in time we made it so that it was a little bit higher, the threshold to enter was a little bit higher every month. So for example, we'd have 250 CHSB, then 300 CHSB, and then we stopped at something that would be reasonable. And for example, we could go back down if the price of CHSB was to go up, but really to try and increase the utility and the entry price to get that reward every month. So I don't know what you think about that, but that's something that we do have in mind. So it is possible that in the next vote, for example, we'll have 250 CHSB as a threshold. So
Let us know in the comments.
yeah, let us know what you think about that.
So the result of the second session, you probably know them already if you've watched the poll yesterday, but we have 44% of the result going to the contribution, the Guardian's contribution, 21.45% for the safety net, and 34% for the burn. And if I remember correctly, was it the same as the last session? I think the contribution always won.
Yeah.
But it's it was a bit higher for the contribution. I have the number here. The second session got 44 and the last session was 41%. So contribution still winning, but the numbers change a bit.
It's getting a little bit more popular. I think something that's interesting as well is that right now, the funds that were in the Guardian's contribution were lower than last time because we had fewer CHSB to distribute. But as there were also fewer people that were receiving that reward, it didn't seem like such a drop. And it actually rewarded anyone who was accumulating CHSB during the month. So that's also something that I'm quite happy about, is the fact that if you bought CHSB, you got more, because it wouldn't really send the right message if you got less for holding or for even for buying. So it's quite it's quite good in that sense.
Yeah.
So here we have the calculations for just the safety net. As mentioned, the safety net is therefore a program that will be set in place or triggered if there is a black swan event, and then the community will actually decide what will be happening with those CHSB, how they'll be airdropped. We'll likely come up with different scenarios, and you'll pick the one that you prefer, and or you'll come up with ones yourself that if it seems obvious. Something that we had in mind for as an example, as a crash test, would be to have X% that would be compensated for generation premium, and then that percent is lowered down if you have another premium tier that's a little bit lower. So if the generation premium were compensated 80%, then maybe Pioneer would be 60, Community would be 40, and Explorer would be. But yeah, you get the concept. This is kind of how it would function. And right now we have 375,000 CHSB, which may not seem that much in dollar value, but if we can make it go up every month, and if the CHSB goes back up, then it becomes much more interesting to have that safety net there. Now, the tokens to be burnt, I know this is a very hot topic in both ways. You want more, you want more tokens to be burnt. So that makes a lot of sense. The 150,000, again, it's a limit that we set because we really want to have something that's sustainable, and we don't want to be in a situation where we're suddenly emptying the whole burn pool. So I took a couple of examples to try and give you some insights into why that cap is there at the moment. This is a transaction. So it works because we're at 15 cents or less, which means that every time that we have a vote, the 150,000 is not likely not to be more than what was voted. So for example, you guys chose to burn, here it was 261,000 CHSB. So that's obviously bigger than the 150, but mainly because CHSB is at such a low price. If CHSB was 20 cents, the curve would be much, much less significant. And instead of accumulating more than 1 million CHSB in the to be burned pot by the end of the 12 sessions, that's what we've planned ahead for, we would actually only be sitting on 600,000. If CHSB was at 25 cents, we'd be pretty much breaking even every month. And if CHSB was at 30 cents, then we would actually be using more or burning more than we would be creating, which just goes to show what I'm trying to do here is that we have the leeway to be able to burn consistently the 150,000, even if the price of the token goes up. Now, if we are at a place where we have way too many tokens, so for example, the 1 million that we can see here at the 15 cents, if we were to stay at 15 cents for a full year, which I'm not hoping for, we would obviously look at that again. But right now, I'm really hopeful for the price of CHSB to be going up. Therefore, that's why that threshold is at that amount. I hope, yeah, if it goes back, I hope it's understandable. And I'd like it if we could give it a try for a few months and see where the price goes. Because, yeah, if it goes more or higher than 30 cents, then we would start emptying the pool real quickly, and we wouldn't be burning the 150,000 every month. So, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hopium, but at the end of the day, it's also kind of reasonable, because if we were building what we call the sustainable system that would break over the course of 3 months, then it wouldn't be much of a sustainable system. So that's why it's there. I hope that this gives a little bit more insights, and yeah, let's move forward. As a result, we've airdropped 335,401.1 CHSB. And I think most of you got it, and we're quite happy. We saw a lot of tweets, so thank you for tweeting. It feels good to have some recognition. This does take a lot of time and effort on our part, so I'm happy that you're happy, and I hope that we can keep fostering that happiness all around. Now for the math slide. This is a slide that got the most criticism for being horrible, but also it does provide a lot of information. So yeah, to go again, for anyone that did not understand how to calculate your own rewards, what you have to do is calculate your voicing power. And this is the premium boost that you have that you can see at the top right here, multiplied by the CHSB that you hold or that you were holding at the snapshot, which we had the exact time earlier in the presentation. And then you take that voicing power and you multiply it by the reward rate. The reward rate this time is 0.001133 just that's the amount. And so if you multiply that by the voicing power, you'll get the amount of CHSB that you were rewarded. It's not necessarily super easy to understand, but it's quite straightforward to actually calculate. So for example, I have 5,000 CHSB. I am a pioneer, let's say. So I do 5,000 times 1.2. I'll get an amount. And then I'll do 6,000 times 0.001133, and I'll know how much I was due. And that way you can check it yourself. In the vote, we were at a 237 million CHSB that were represented, which is actually not that far off from what we had last time. And unique eligible users in vote is all the people that were in the vote and that chose to express themselves. So there are also some people that just chose to pass. They were eligible for the reward, but they didn't express their opinion in what we should do. So that's also the rate that you'll see on the thematics explanation. And the results versus average is just to show that we have had the 44%, 34%, and 20%, but the general consensus, so without taking into account the number of CHSB that you were holding, were of lowering the contribution and having more in the safety net, which was actually quite interesting. I think that these numbers also, so it's quite fun to see that the airdrop is probably favored by people who have more CHSB in their wallet, but it also makes sense. But I like to keep that number here just to show what people generally want versus how the holdings affect that decision at the end of the day. Now for the results of the thematics. This was announced in the Power yesterday. We aren't going to be adding that much more information in it. Just note that there are 5.26% of participants that did not have a preference for this session. So altogether, they did not express what they wanted to do with their voicing power, nor what they wanted to do with the thematics. So that's why the numbers don't add up to 100%. It's because if you want to, you can just pass and you'll be eligible to everything. It should be a right to just feel like you don't want to express your voice in a particular session. And the winners, the hard money thematic. So it's the BTC and PAX Gold. Now, a lot more information on those thematics will be delivered at the keynote. And these will be also in Lausanne live or in Zurich live or on YouTube. And we're still figuring out exactly on the day and the time it will go live on YouTube, but we'll make it so that everyone is able to get the information roughly at the same time. So that's the magnificent slide we have to talk about the keynote. It's going to happen. If you haven't booked your spot, check your emails because you received an email either 1 week ago for Zurich, either 2 weeks ago for Lausanne. And in that email, you'll have a link and the passcode to book your space. And
maybe you remind us when it is.
Yeah, and I hope that we'll see you there. I think Dany, you'll be at both of them.
I will be at both of them. So just for a reminder, at Lausanne, it will be on the 20th of June. So in 2 weeks, I'm not too bad yet. Yeah, not in the office, so nearby in the Casino of Bombay. And the day after in Zurich, in I don't remember the venue, but you will see it in the mail.
Yeah. Who received the email? Every Genesis and Generation Premium that are in Switzerland. So that was the criteria for the email, but I think that Cyrus probably leaked it, so I would check his.
Yes, and we probably send it also to all the people in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So it's not super secret. If you also live nearby in France or close, you can easily get an invitation, I guess. So.
Yeah, or if you want the link, just feel free to DM Dany or me on Discord. You can find us super easily, and I'll answer super quickly as well, as soon as this live stream is finished, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah. So what's gonna be the option? So there will be the three same options. So reward, safety net, and burn. But we will introduce a fourth option. So it's not decided yet, and it will be yours to choose. So will it be something about a community DAO pot, or something about hiring a com specialist, or like helping Benjy like build up his brewery? We don't know. But you can
Forgot I
scan the
left that
QR
here.
code.
Yeah, so okay, that was yeah. Here's I didn't check the slides, so this was just a joke. Please do not vote for a brewery. I do not know how to make beer.
Which maybe can be a good experience or not. But you can scan the QR code. You will arrive at this page where we'll see basically three information. The first one is a Slido. It's the one where you can submit your project. When you have a good idea to submit as a force vote, then put it in there. We'll check it. Everyone can check it. It's still anonymous. I've also put two links here. So the Gradient of CHSB 3 vote, it won't be open yet, but you will be able to access the link from here. Everything will be basically summarized here. All the links you need, the live for the presentation, which will be updated later too. So everything will be on this page, everything you need.
Yeah, comms specialist, actually, it's not here because it's suggestions I had. I think it was mentioned in the Discord, and it had a fair amount of thumbs up. So I thought I'd throw it in the presentation because if that's what the community wants, I don't have to agree with something for it to go live. And that's the concept of governance. So I don't necessarily personally think that we need to hire a comms specialist with the funds of the Protect and Choose. But if that's the consensus, then that's what's going to happen. That's the beauty of governance. So here it is. Do as you will.
Yeah.
Feel free
And
to
how
write
are
your
we going
opinion.
to choose the projects, Benjy?
So what we're going to be doing is the Slidos will have lots of information, and unfortunately doing it by thumbs up doesn't work because you can have multiple thumbs up and put them yourself on one message, just inflating its seeming value. What we'll be doing is that we'll be taking the best ones out of the ones that were suggested, so basically anything that we can do, and we'll be filtering it with our moderators so that we have a general community consensus on what we should be including. So, for example, if you think that the community DAO pod is the best idea, then feel free to write it on the Slido. We'll review it, and if it's possible, we'll have our moderators select it against the others that have been reviewed as well. I hope that's quite clear, but it's the best way we found to not have a vote about what should be voted on, and to have a community perspective on whatever we do anyway. So yeah, I think if you have any good ideas, scan the QR code and let's get it on the Slido.
When next edition? Well, yeah, the next session is opening on the day of the Lausanne keynote. So starting there, you will be able to vote. It will be, like always, the 10 days waiting. When we open, we'll send reminders and everybody can vote. So even if you don't receive the mail, you can just scan the QR code from this live and you will be able to vote on the link. And on the last day of June, we stop taking new answers on the type form, and then we will do our usual, like taking the snapshot, prepare the results, and then having a next town hall a bit during the week 1 of July.
Yeah, I think that says it all. We noticed that a few people missed it this time, so unfortunate for them. We hope that they'll get it right next time. We can't say that we haven't been clear on the dates though, because we're quite early with the timelines, and we're quite spot on the first two votes. So when will the
Beginner's
hero
luck or
score
not?
boost start? Beginner's luck or not? Yeah. When will the hero score boost start? So the hero score boost start, in the article I wrote that it would be on the third session, which would be next one. But it's also going to depend on how precise and how quickly we can get all of the information that we need. So this is the percentage rank in which you are sitting on. So we'll be communicating before doing the snapshot, but if it's possible to do it, I'll be taking it into account starting next time. And if it's too complicated, we'll push it back until we can be 100% certain that is not going to be a hurdle, because I don't want to have to delay anything because of the hero score. So if it impacts us in a good way, we'll use it. And if it doesn't yet, we'll wait. We'll take the time that we need.
I have another question from Juliana's, but this one. Why is 6444 minus 675 not equal to 33 plus 7 plus 178? Why a difference? Yeah, that's in the stat, I think.
There?
The one before? Yeah, exactly. So basically, the 6444 are the number of answers, and the 6075 are unique answers. So we just, if you do the difference between the two, you just remove all the one who voted at least twice, and the other number have to be deduced from this number too. So you take 6,075 and you deduce also the 33 plus 7 plus 178, and then you have the total number of people who have voted right and were accounted in the vote.
It's the duplicates also.
Yeah, the duplicates, you get it when you do the six. Thing.
So if Julien has voted twice, he'll be accounted for in the answers,
only
but
once.
he won't be on the right side in the limitations, in the people that weren't eligible.
Yeah, exactly.
So okay, I get it. Nice.
A number I forgot to pass also is 461 users who decided to pass on this vote.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
Maybe another, if we want to have some numbers of people who voted, because we have 3 languages, so we have also 3,419 French who voted, or at least select the French path. 2,325 English and 700 Germans. Oh, what's the burn? Should we invite Glavan maybe, or?
So Arsenal Black and White, the burn is basically when we take tokens and we send them to an address that that doesn't have anyone that can control it. So this address is known as the null address. It's the 0x00000. And basically, if you want to remove tokens from the circulating supply, you can send them there because they will never ever move. Which also means that your total supply, or the supply of tokens that can be bought on the market, is lessened, which is a inflation hedge. Inflation is when you have more money in the circulating supply, and then you have deflation when you have less. And what you're doing is that you're taking CHSB and lowering it, whereas the dollar or the general other medium of value that you have would go up. So you'd kind of do like this, which means that even if the total demand of one of the assets is stagnant, the price will go up just because it's the supplies are moving around. I'm sure that there's better explanations on the internet, but basically you're making something rarer against something is becoming less and less rare, therefore increasing its financial value. I hope that was clear. I'm not sure.
Clear to me at least. I have another one here from Short. So will the amount of votes percentage go to the other decision if we reach the 150K? I think you can see at least on this. Yeah.
This isn't something. Should it be challenged? This isn't something that we're currently challenging. It's just I'm kind of explaining why the 150K are there. If we were to have a CHSB that was super high, would we change that? I hope that we won't have to. But I don't get what the question is looking for. Will the amount of votes percentage go to the other decision if we reach the 150,000? I'm sorry, if you can reformulate that.
I thought if we reach the 150 and we only burn 150, does the rest goes to a pot something? I guess.
So there is a to be burned pot, and this is basically tokens that will be burned, but just not right now. And for example, if we were to reach the 12th month of protect and choose, and then we rework the whole system because that's currently what's planned. Then at the end here, what we would do is continually burn until we don't have any more. So for example, if we stay at 15 cents, which once again, I hope not, but that's the example I have here. Well, then we would have an extra 10 months or 8 months of burn with whatever we have left here. So I mean, that's quite interesting. I don't know. Oops, sorry. Can you meet Dany at the keynote you had?
Yeah, I think, yeah, this one. So can we meet Dany and Benjy on Keynote in Zurich? So Benjy, not sure.
Yeah, it's a long motorcycle ride, so.
Yeah, and Dany, double N, so you mean probably Autobahn Dany. He will probably be at Zurich.
He will. I think he's a speaker there.
Yeah, and if it's to mean me, which is single N Dany, I will be there also.
Intern Dany.
Intern Dany.
Intern versus PM Dany, yeah.
I have one from Percula. Just one. Who received the email? Everyone or certain criteria? Normally, we just send it to all premium. Normally.
Andy, yes. If next month everyone refuses to burn, we will still burn with the to be burned pool. It's tokens that you have decided will be burned, so we will burn them. That's the concept. Not now, but we will as soon as we have a month that doesn't fulfill the whole 150k. That's also why it's built in that way, so that a price increase wouldn't affect that 150k if we are able to gather enough in that pot. Okay, let's get to it. Let's say voting power causing a 250 CHSB burn, but you're gonna burn only. Sorry. Okay, short. I have to focus here. Let's say voting power causing a 250 CHSB burn, but you're gonna burn only 150. So that missed voting power. Does it go back to the other two options? Oh no, it goes in the to be burned pool, and we will burn it as soon as we have a vote that doesn't reach the 150,000, which would happen as soon as CHSB picks back up in price. So hopefully in the next bull run. So hopefully in 2024. Benjy at Lausanne? Yes, Benjy at Lausanne. Yeah.
Do you see anything else? Tell the other Dany to speak slowly. Well, do you drive slowly in the in the highway? Not sure. It can be dangerous, so maybe it's the same here.
Here's the next question. When will the new hard money thematic be active? More information about that will be delivered at the keynote. Right now, they know that the hard money thematic is the one that is the favorite. So the keynotes will have the answer to all of your thematics questions because Daniel will answer them himself.
No.
Julianas, you were much more popular than me at the last keynote. So. Okay, cool.
Nice.
I'm glad we were able to help.
First to do a Benjy fan club t-shirt.
That would be a terrible choice of vote.
Rap God Benjy.
No. We should invade. Yeah, we should, shouldn't we? To be fair, yeah, I'll have to cross-check if this hasn't been done. I'm not sure they haven't been invited. They might have been. I assume.
Yeah, because at the keynote we have something special for the Series A investors, so
yeah,
they should be invited.
They might have received an invite. I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah.
But I'll make sure that we cross-check so that every Series A investor who is not premium will receive one last minute. It's a bit last minute, but yeah, we'll thanks for the heads up. I hope that they have the invite. If they don't, we'll make sure they do get it.
I hope it won't get into like the best name for the Benjy's brewery.
No. Thanks, Doc. Nice.
Oh, Andy speaking wisely.
Just give our two heroes here more power to fill the role. Actually, Cyrus has taken it upon himself to pimp the governance So more info about that will be delivered at the keynote. But I am looking forward to what's about to happen, even if we won't necessarily be the messengers. There's some big ideas at least that were thrown. It might get very, very interesting. Right now, it's mostly just getting used to the voting, explaining, choosing, debating, posting, all of these things that will hopefully be more and more important in SwissBorg, and we're getting quite good at this. If we can keep up having between 6,500 and 12,000 people, then it just shows that it's something that's really appreciated. And that's when we know that it's something that we can scale up, because we will only scale it up if it's appreciated. If no one wants it, then it doesn't make sense for us to double down, right? For a communication specialist, you can use SwissBorg Series A fund. Well, I don't have access to SwissBorg Series A fund, so I hope that someone who does will read that message. Yeah.
I have I'm searching for one comment that we had at the beginning. Yeah, the Ben token already existed and pumped.
Yeah, I missed it.
Oh yeah, this one. Shareholder voting was super cool done. Can we have those guardian vote in a similar style?
I wish.
Yeah, I'm just putting the message here to if the highest up sees it.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one. Having it in the website could be interesting. Having it in app could be interesting. If we had to choose one of the two, I don't know which would be the best, but I think we're definitely looking to make it different than what it is right now. It might take a bit more time, but if we're gonna do it, we want to do it right. So we'll take the time it needs. We'll try to deliver on what we promised so far, and this is clearly a step 2. Yeah. Why we cannot vote for burn more CHSB? You can vote for burn as much as you want out of the pool. It's just that it will get burned progressively instead of in one go. It's just because redundance is super powerful. Predictability is super powerful when you're talking about inflation and deflation. A big problem that traditional currencies have is that they're quite unpredictable. So, for example, you can invest in any currency that's in South America, right? You can invest in it and you'll be taking a risk because it's unpredictable in its supply. The Swiss franc is an extremely powerful currency because it's relatively predictable, at least compared to the others. And gold is super predictable. Also, there's not that much that gets printed every year. There's like 1.3% or something like that. So the predictability is a very, very strong asset in a currency. And what we're trying to do here is to reinforce the power of the burn by making it predictable. Because if it's unpredictable, then you can't really sell it as a utility. Whereas if you can say 150,000 tokens will be burnt every month for a full year, then you can say, okay, I know that this is going to happen. I know how much it's going to happen at, and I can calculate the value of that burn because it's so predictable. So that's why we're not burning more. But you voted to burn 234,000 tokens this session. So the 234,000 tokens will be burnt, just not right now. What we're making it is predictable, which is why it's taking a little bit more time to burn those tokens. Yeah, I think unfortunately that's not a governance issue, milk and cookies, but for sure the support can help you directly in the app.
Have anything else?
Yeah, I think with that said, we're good to go. So we'll just go and double check on these invitations for the Series A investors. Oh, you spoke about DAO as possible fourth vote option. Any enhancements on how the DAO is organized? I'm not sure how much we can say here. I mean, this would be the community DAO. It's going to be elaborated on during the keynote, which is when we're starting the votes. So if that is an option that seems appealing to you, it will be a little bit late to have the details. That's true. The let me think on how we can elaborate on this ASAP and get back to you on this. Yeah, I think we're getting out of the subject in the chat here, but we have covered pretty much everything. I've taken notes of the things that we have to work on before we send out the next survey, and I hope that everything will be clear by then.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, so let's end it here. I hope everything went understandable, that Benjy didn't go into rub mode again. And wish you all a good night, even no, good evening.
And a good
see
night.
You on Discord. Yeah, and good night.
And see you at the keynote, if not on Discord.
Sure.
Bye bye, everyone.